Okay, we're good.
2 minutes all, 2 minutes, fan power news. Welcome to Drop the Clutch, supporting Suicidal Scuddy. This week we're joined with Dylan and Ruth, who for some fucking reason likes fan power news. Alright, maybe they don't. Fuck this shit, this is bullshit. Let's go back to normal person. Jesus. There we go. Hold on. Right, what is going on, guys? Normal people are back. Fuck knows why. I'm joined with Ruth. I'm joined with Dylan. Let's talk some shit for an hour.
Yes, let's.
What an intro.
Best one I think we've had yet, that.
Some horrifying news come through yesterday for Wolverhampton fans. Dylan, did you want to...
Should we look at the positives first and do a roundup?
Yeah.
And then we'll go into the depressing stuff. Because otherwise I might be crying in about 10 minutes' time. Who knows?
Okay.
Don't worry, Dylan. We're all here for you. We all encourage you to get emotional support. Just for fuck's sake, do not get a cat and call it Snowy, because it'll just want to beat you up all the time. Isn't that right, dickhead?
We'll let Ruth do the run over because she's prepared. Kind of.
I haven't had time to prepare today. I could only apologise. I've let the side down.
We can only apologise for our lack of preparedness on this evening's episode.
But I can tell you, because I remember it, because I saw it at some point this afternoon, Peterborough got absolutely battered by some overrated Manchester team at their own track. And Leicester lost at home, which is always fun.
Well, they've got no advantage now, do they, that they're in the top league?
I mean, you'd have thought Frick would have sort of adapted to it within a couple of meetings.
Mm.
And I expected a bit better of Dan Thompson, I'm not going to lie.
I've been a bit disappointed with the start that Nick Morris has had. He was really off the pace in Sam's testimonial, and he ain't done a lot for Leicester since. And hopefully he'll step it up and do something for Birmingham tomorrow night.
Don't go saying that. You know it's got to be a fucking huge away win. It's already written.
Sure it is.
Already written in the script.
So last week, basically, from Wednesday onwards, the Brummies first meeting got rained off because the weather was absolutely atrocious. And then Oxford got rained off when everybody had got into the stadium, which was a bit frustrating.
About, Oxford, actually. Oxford, they rained their meeting off at about 7 o'clock, wasn't it? Just after 7?
Yeah.
I do Ben Trigger's graphics for him. He texts me at about 5:30. Dan, can you do me a graphic to say that the meeting's been rained off?
Oh, no.
So it's almost like a certain somebody and a certain riders knew the meeting wasn't going to go ahead, but they let everybody in anyway. Because British Speedway, we've got your money now. Fuck off.
Going on from Wednesday, Thursday, Bellevue won away against Ipswich by 8 points, 49-41. Kings Lynn beat Wolverhampton.
I'd say that was a big surprise, Bellevue winning at Ipswich.
Yeah. I have to agree.
Christoph Kasperzak getting a 15-point maximum.
I've told you this ages ago. Once Christoph Kasperzak's had 2 meetings under his belt, he's going to fly and he's going to win Kings Lynn the league.
Okay, we'll believe that when we see it.
Yeah.
Watch it. And if it doesn't happen, forget I said anything.
It's on video evidence now.
We've got evidence.
Just forget I said it. Cut it out in post-production or some shit.
Leicester beat Peterborough by 5 points at home on Thursday, the score being 47-42. I reckon it would have been a different scoreline had Peterborough had a number 1. To be honest.
Yeah,
I reckon
possibly.
they're missing points.
Although Richie Worrell was quite inspired, and did he take 6 rides, maybe? I don't actually know how many he got. But
Did he not get around about the 15-point mark, something like that?
I'll have a look at this. I think he got about 13, I want to say. But we will have a look.
Justin Sedgman got 10+1.
Sedgy started the season really well. Richie Worrell got paid 15 from 6.
That's good, that is.
And Ben Cook paid 12. To be fair, the top 5, Hans Anderson and Ben Basso were great, and Jordan Jenkins is expect to, just be finding his feet a little bit. But is there a rider more unlucky in British Speedway at the moment than Ben Basso?
No, because he made Glasgow entertaining by wanting to square up to Craig Cook. On to Friday's meetings. Unfortunately, Scunny's match with Oxford got rained off, and loads of people was very sad and in tears because we wanted to see Kerr and Palmit off round 2.
And then the Glasgow match was abandoned. Was it after 8 races?
Yeah, there weren't many gone.
And then No, it's not Armadale now, is it? It's
the Edinburgh Academy.
The Edinburgh Monarchs Academy won 50-40 against the Bellevue Colts. And the most unluckiest rider in the world, the man that's got more steel in him than a 5,000-foot scaffold, Adam Roynan, got a fucking 12-point paid maximum, and my heart was happy.
Yay.
And a fun story on BSN the following night from that, Roynan talked about it, and the team manager offered him 15. He goes, "Do you need me?" "No." "Well, I'm taking my maximum then." Roynan's exact words.
What a guy.
Yeah, what a hero.
Talking of BSN, moving on to Saturday, Glasgow annihilated Berwick in the worst meeting I've seen all season.
And Thomas Jorgensen was absolutely atrocious.
He was really good.
And the Red Bears versus the Brummies got rained off. No surprise there.
There seems to be a theme with the past week. Rained off.
Yeah, welcome to the British summertime.
It's already off, and that's meant to be in 4 days' time.
Great British weather.
But yeah,
Sunday,
we've had 22 degrees here today.
Yeah, it's been alright here this evening. But it's been a bit of a dull week considered so far.
Mildmore beat Kent.
Oh, God.
29.
Don't talk about that one. You might need a fucking ambulance. Survival of the fittest.
Can't complain that my guy Trig's got a paid maximum. His first ever one, I do believe it was.
Some serious questions have got to be asked if that was the track's fault again.
But I'm sure, I could be wrong here, but I'm sure Lee Complin said there was nothing wrong with the track. I think a lot of what could have been at Mildenhall was down to lack of experience of riders, more particularly in the Kent team.
Although I did see Mildenhall's number 2 wipe 2 of Kent's riders out.
Mildenhall's number 2.
Josh Warren.
Him. Yeah, but these things happen.
It's the inexperience, isn't it? It's like a really tricky track, and apparently it was really grippy. It's like you put the least experienced riders on a grippy track, and you're gonna get chaos.
Well, when I went last year to that Danny's Day meeting, the bloody thing was full of glass because it had stock cars on it the night before. How can you deem that safe for
that is how
younger
you prepare
riders?
A proper speedway track. Trust me, I know. Hashtag suicidal Scuddy. But no, I remember Danny Ayres once saying to me, actually, back when the geezer was alive, the guys in the National League should be on tracks prepared like as slick as Scunny is. And then when you move to Championship, you add a bit of grip, and then the Premiership, you just fucking full grip, and if you bin it, it's your own fault. While we're on the subject of Mildenhall and crashes and shit, whether he watches this or not is another matter. But from a Scotty perspective, I want to send my best wishes out to Luke Harrison, who had a massive, nasty crash at Scunny in what was nothing more than just a bog standard racing accident, and is sustained 2 broken vertebrae in his back, a broken shoulder blade, and a bruised lung. So, Luke, if you're watching this, get well, mate, and your dad's a twat.
His dad that employs you.
That's the one.
Even though somebody out there will use that as their narrative to tell a story about Scunny again.
I wonder
let's
who
not
that
name who.
lovely person could be.
Hmm.
Does the first 3 letters of his name rhyme with my name?
Could be. Could be.
Maybe.
Could be Fanny
Who
Power
knows?
News. Man's an
Big up
idiot.
Fan Power News, you're a cunt.
Yeah,
On
and
to
then
yesterday's
yesterday,
meetings.
2
Peterborough,
meetings, but it was dominated by
35.
depressing news.
Peterborough 35, Bellevue 55.
Fuck the
Again, not surprised.
The one
Peterborough being
thing
without a
about that
number one.
meeting, I think BBC Cambridge need to have a good long look in the mirror, because their commentary was absolutely pathetic. Especially the one guy that was sat there slagging riders off. Niels Christian Everson needs sacking, and then the next race he won. Oh, he's brilliant. Like, sort your life out,
Seriously?
mate. Yeah. Man was an
If
idiot.
only we knew a commentator that would go and do this sort of thing.
Yeah, if
Petition
only.
to get Dan on BBC Radio Cambridge.
Hey,
Fuck BBC Radio Cambridge.
if Wolverhampton Speedway could get nearly 10,000 signatures on a petition, surely getting Dan Palmer on Radio Cambridge could get at
least 10.
At least 2 signatures. I just didn't want to be that optimistic.
And then the other one yesterday was Leicester versus Ipswich. Leicester lost at home by 4 points.
And Emil Sayvudanov set a new track record in his first race back there.
And
I did not know that.
And got a 4-ride maximum, yeah.
Well, you see, you didn't know it, but now you do. We learn something new every day.
Unless we don't, and then we learn something new every other day.
Yeah. But we all said that the Leicester team were good on paper, but so far they've turned out to be a bit shit.
So Max Frick ain't really adapted yet. He's brilliant around Bellevue, but he ain't much cop anywhere else.
Maybe that's why he moved.
Yeah, Bomber raced really well for Wolves when he guested last week, but he ain't had the brightest of starts for Leicester. I think the reserve positions are costing Leicester a little bit at the minute. Jake Allen ain't quite up to speed yet. Sedgey's flying though, which is great news for Ruth.
You leave my mate Jake alone.
He's gonna go out and get a 5-ride max tomorrow. He's just in Sedgman against the Scorpions.
Ryan Douglas might have something to say about that. You know, friend of the show, Ryan Douglas.
I actually said to Gil before we come on air, this is a very controversial opinion, and I like controversial opinions. And Ruth, if your heart breaks after this, I'm sorry, but it's the truth. Justin Sedgman is the only rider Scunny have to fear this week. Home and away.
How'd you see that?
Purely because, right, it's down to one main thing. You look down the whole Birmingham team. Justin Sedgman's the only one that's had a certain amount of track time and race time for his race fit. Whereas, well, you're gonna probably get a half-assed Nick Morris that's just there to turn up to get $3,000 a meeting. Oh shit! I shouldn't have said that on a podcast.
Yeah.
Spilling
I
the
think
tea here,
Alfie
folks.
Botel may cause an upset though. He started the season very well. A couple
Yeah,
of
he's had
maximums
track
for
time.
Mildenhall.
Paco Castagna, who's guessed in place of James Wright, has had plenty of track time as well.
Controversial
recent
opinion, but
weeks.
at Perry Bar, that makes Birmingham stronger than having James Wright there.
And I found out today the only reason Paco was not back at Perry Bar this year was because of Nick Morris's average.
That doesn't
He was
surprise
tacked
me
on to
one
come
bit.
back, otherwise it was Nick Morris's average, so it's all Nick's fault.
I honestly reckon he'd have gone back to Edinburgh anyway. I know he had offers from Birmingham and Edinburgh, but I think he'd have probably gone back there anyway.
Well, he did, didn't he?
Exactly.
No, this is like knowledge from an insider.
Yeah, it's weird how things in Speedway can change like that. Because
Bloody averages.
Back in November time, I think it was, when we just committed to running, we was going to run with the same 7 that we had last year.
Mm.
And then
it didn't work last year.
And we thought that's just
yeah, it didn't work last year.
We're going to get some new riders. We're going to get my mate Tofty back, and we're going to have a title-winning team. And if it doesn't work, forget I said it's going to be a title-winning team. Because Rob Godfrey says that to me every single year.
Just an update on your mate Triggs Palmer. He touched the tapes in Heat 2 at Plymouth.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Big Triggs, if you're watching this, get your fucking shit sorted now, or I'm going to kick your ass.
I suppose we better turn on to talking about the news of the week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, as you guys will have heard, the unfortunate news that it very much sounds like at the minute Wolverhampton will be continuing at Monmouth Green next season. But yeah, it's certainly come as a bit of a shock to everybody.
It's rough as well because, like you say, it's come as a shock, and like a lot of Wolves fans, I know, like going to Birmingham and vice versa because you get to see different riders at a couple of like Emil Saivudinov for Ipswich comes to Wolves. You'll get fans from Perry Bar going to Wolves for the night, and it's like the track's just going to be sat there idle. Why not keep running? You can run dogs at any time because nobody goes to watch; they just watch it online.
Yeah, it's very much a shame, and obviously Ruth, you had the Brummies take away from you in was it 2014?
Yeah.
So obviously you know what it feels like, but like I was saying to you, Dil, when it's your own club, it hits different, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's weird. It came a little bit out of nowhere. I think CVS has done an interview and said that he actually found out on the 16th of March and he couldn't bring himself to tell anybody until 6 o'clock yesterday morning when he texted the riders to say the news was coming out. And it's like, that's a big thing to have to carry around for that long, considering he's been there for 36, 37 years. But yeah, it was just one of them things, and now
to carry around.
To
be fair.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously, like you've got the petition going,
which is at 9,100 signatures now, as of about 36 hours after it started.
Which for a speedway thing is absolutely phenomenal. So while that petition's still going on, from a Wolves fan yourself, Dil, do you feel that gives you a little bit more hope that there's a chance you'll be running next year?
Listening to CVS last night, he tried to convince the owners that it was a bad idea, and they said that they'd took into account the backlash of it. He said that the local council has been in touch with him, the local MP, and he wants to meet with him to see what they can do. A lot of riders are sharing the petition and stuff, and it is getting around. It's getting speed. So, and obviously Rob Godfrey has come out and said that they'll be putting an action group together on behalf of the BSPL to work with this, and I'd assume that'll include some of the people who've worked on Coventry as well. So that's hopeful because although Coventry ain't running again yet, at least they've managed to halt the plans of a big corporation. The thing I don't understand is why the stadium owners let Wolves put new track lights in for this season. And now they've decided they're getting rid of it anyway, and why they initially offered CVS a 4-year contract just a couple of months ago.
Yeah, everything really begs the mind, really, doesn't it?
And it's obviously started certain people off with rumours about Birmingham being owned by the same company, which Ruth can clarify now.
Hang on, I've got to stop the recording. Okay, right. Just to clear up some technical issues that we had there, but as we said before, moving on to a bit about Birmingham, as the rumours are still spreading around regarding everything that's going on, I want to clarify some stuff. Basically, the club is not owned by the same people that own Wolverhampton. They never have been. The current owners of the track and piece of land that Perry Bar sits on are owned by a company in Ireland, which has got nothing to do with... Yeah, which has got nothing to do with Entain or whatever the hell they're called at all. And this joint venture thing that they're doing with ARC doesn't mean they hold any power over Perry Bar either. So people need to stop spreading disinformation about the whole thing, because Entain don't hold any power at Perry Bar. That's all ARC. And from what I've found out, that lease is still in power for another 4 or 5 years. So there's nothing to worry about, at least for the time being.
And just a quick one while we're on this subject. I've seen a few comments saying that Sheffield and other tracks are involved. Sheffield are actually owned by the Napoleon's Casino next door. And for them, Sheffield Speedway on a Thursday and Greyhounds every other day of the week, it works for them. So there's no issues with Sheffield. Up the Tigers, let's win the league and all that bullshit.
That is literally the same case at Birmingham, at least for the very definite future. And we've had a statement. I've since seen that there's a statement put out by Birmingham regarding Wolves. So I'm going to read that out now. Birmingham Speedway bosses have been stunned by the news that neighbours Wolverhampton future has been thrown into major doubt. On Monday, the Wolves bosses announced that they had received notification that Speedway racing will cease at Monmore Green at the end of October. All at Birmingham Speedway are shocked and saddened, and the Brummies management will be offering Wolves promoter Chris Van Stratton help and support in as many ways as they can. They urge supporters to sign the petition to keep Wolves on track, and hopefully that helps. And talking to Andy from the Birmingham Speedway Supporters Club Committee, he echoes the same thoughts as the club, and they have a line of communication into the Wolves Supporters Club to lend a hand if they need it. So, you know, Speedway World's got to stick together.
Yeah, it's good to see the Speedway World. That's come like Bellevue put their statement out yesterday as well, like the fiercest rivals of Wolves at the moment, putting a statement out like that. And yeah, it is good to see the Speedway World come together, and Freddie Lindgren shared something yesterday as well. So it is getting around. And that's where Speedway is a different breed to any other sport.
Well, quite a few minority sports are the same. Something happens and it comes together. I always say the minority sports have got to stick together to go up against football and all the other big ones.
I was saying yesterday, if this was football and they were told they couldn't use a stadium, there'd already be another stadium. The goalposts and the fucking grandstand would be up already.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just not fair being a minority sport that you can just be kicked out with a moment's notice. It's not fair.
The thing that's annoyed me like the last couple of days is the media have covered it really well, but why is it only when bad times happen that the media cover Speedway?
Because
Because
the general public don't like Speedway.
I don't
They
think
go-
the general public are as exposed to Speedway. I don't think they don't like it. It's just there's not enough exposure for it.
Well,
because
they only ever find out the bad shit, don't they? That's why like people tend to have a negative opinion about it, and they never hear about the good stuff,
but
which is a problem.
right, I've got a theory here. Because this genuinely worked at Scunny in 2015, I think it was, when we had the Josh Shorty Rowan Tungate accident and police got involved and stuff like that. I don't know the best way to word it, so I'm just going to come out and say it because we're Drop the Clutch. Unfiltered, uncensored, don't give a fuck. But the bad, hey up, mate. The bad publicity, the bad news that's going around could actually get more people in. Like when it was found out that police was involved in the Josh Shorty and Tungate accident, we had an extra 200 people through the gate the following week in hope that something was going to happen. And it's like I've been saying with the Lewis Kerr and Tofty thing at Sheffield, if they market it perfectly, they could get another 200 fans in. So bad publicity can not necessarily mean bad publicity in the long run.
I mean, you'd hope that with this news coming out, Monmore's going to be rammed for the next 4.5 months, and people will show their support that way, and then maybe the owners will have a change of mind or whatever.
I suppose I don't know if it comes down to profit in the end. Has the Wolves business been profitable in recent seasons?
Crowd numbers
broken?
have dwindled. Crowd numbers have
Mm.
dwindled at Wolves, especially the past. I think since COVID. I think COVID really shot off because a lot of the people at Wolves are of an older generation. We touched on it in the podcast with Bowen a couple of weeks ago. A lot of the fans at Wolves are older now. You don't see many youngsters in there, and I think COVID, with the amount of deaths and stuff, or whatever going around, it's sort of took away some of that support, or maybe BSN coming around and showing meetings more maybe took a few people away as well. I think with this news, hopefully it'll drag some more people back and some new people in, just to show support for something that's been running in Wolverhampton for nearly 100 years. Like, this is the 95th anniversary or something like that. And it's like, that's a lot of time spent having a club to then just throw it on the fire and like it never existed.
Exactly right there.
I've got a question for Ruth, actually. A lot of people have been suggesting Wolves could track share with Birmingham. I don't think that's a viable option, I'll be honest, but I'm interested to hear your thoughts on that one.
I've been replying to people's comments about this all day. It won't work. One, because there's not enough dates in the Speedway calendar during the year. Two, because we can only run Speedway at Perry Bar on a Wednesday because there's dogs every other day of the week. And three, it didn't work when we track shared with Cradley, so it's definitely not going to work with Wolves. Because, Dylan, I like you, don't get me wrong, but you people from the Black Country sometimes are more proud than you care to admit. And when you need help, you have to be asked if you need help.
Fair's fair.
I'm not going to lie, Scuddy people are like that as well.
But again, you could say that about me being from Birmingham. You could say I'm pig-headed. But again, it's saying like, shit, we need help. Can you help us now? rather than leaving it till when it's absolutely fucking desperate. It's like,
Yeah.
Chris Van Straten should have come out with it straight away, because maybe the action group would have been in place by now. Maybe the talks would have started by now. Maybe something would have changed by now if he'd come out with it straight away.
His reasoning behind not coming out was it was to not detract from Sam Master's testimonial and the joy of Sam's day.
I suppose that's fair, but
Me-
yeah.
While we're on the subject of people that need help but won't ask for it, I know a guy.
Yeah. That bloke needs, as you said on his post, Dan, that bloke needs to do stock cars to get that screw knocked back in tight that he's got loose.
The only problem with him doing banger racing is that one screw might come back tight, but the other one will come loose as it is anyway.
There's no way that bloke's full the ticket. If he's playing with a full deck, I know where there's house full.
He just alienates people. And then people wonder why.
He's an idiot.
And then he wonders why people don't like him. Because he's an idiot.
I could write a fucking book on why people don't like him.
Well, Dylan, all I'm going to say is if you use his advice and you end up coming to Scuddy, you won't be going back up.
No, I'll die there.
Please don't die, though. Hashtag big
Looking forward to Scunny next month, actually. That should be fun.
Hashtag big up suicidal Scuddy.
Yeah. But that is interesting, though, hearing Dougie's thoughts on Scunny last week as well. He had some interesting thoughts, and then, obviously, Fanpever's come out with his shit again, and obviously coming out with the agenda about Luke, even though Andy asked him not to mention his name. I think that's just completely disrespectful.
It goes to show what you need to know about the guy when he's using a child's injury, to try and prove his point, and even though his point he's trying to make is complete and utter bollocks.
It does say a lot, doesn't it?
I've seen earlier today, actually, Caden Martin's dad put a post on Caden's racing page. I think I sent it to you, Dylan, actually, and it's one of that. It's a motorsport. It's dangerous. These things happen. He was a bloody rider himself for a few years, albeit he was absolutely fucking shite.
Yeah.
And the only club that would probably have employed him is Suicidal Scuddy, ironically.
It was Cradley. He raced for Cradley.
Well, that says it all, then, really, doesn't it?
But yeah, it is interesting, and obviously what Paul Bowen said about Speedway, if you want to make it safe, put brakes on them. That detracts from it. I don't think Scunny's a dangerous track, especially considering the amount of meetings. Like, you had 60-something races on it the other day, one accident, and that was of all levels of experience as well.
To be fair, we had a couple of crashes, but it was not really down to the track. You know, it was just purely down to rider error, which happens, and
which you're gonna get when you're getting inexperienced riders on the track as well.
Exactly, and to be fair, like Luke's crash, I know Andy's given me some permission to talk about it, but he was having a really, really good race with Ashton Bougen. And all that happened was Ashton moved off the racing line, and Luke hit like a wet patch that completely threw Luke off, and then what happened. It's just racing, but
Yeah.
as what Andy put on Fan Power's post yesterday, even though the family's probably at the worst it's been for a while, you know, he's making a 15-year-old child's injury a point for his a big thing for his points. So all is good in the world.
In other news, Oxford are beating Plymouth after 6 races.
How's
Really?
How's Triggs going? Is he still on 1?
He's still on 1.
My man.
Sam Masters is on paid 4. Scotty won his first race. Louis Kerr's dropped 1 point. Henry Atkins is on 4. Ben Barker 2 second places. Dan Gilks has had a crash.
Oh, for fuck's sake. He's not dead, is he?
No, he's alright. It was one of them awkward ones. But,
No-
you know, it was the first bend one by the looks of it, 'cause it should have been all 4 back.
There's no doubt. As soon as fan power sees it'll be. Oh, that's all down to suicidal Scuddy.
Although with Plymouth, the minute you get out of the gate, you got to turn left anyway because it's that bloody small.
On a good run round that track, it'd be safer.
Yeah.
The only track I'd like to do a relay around Plymouth, 'cause it's tiny.
Not it. Do you not fancy doing it on Scuddy's mini track?
Possibly, yeah.
It's not even 100 meters.
Although when we was there, that looked bigger than it actually is as well.
It's actually only 92 meters.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, we'll do it round there, and then we'll send fan power to do it round Berwick.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shall we use the last few minutes to have a look at the couple of meetings coming up the next couple of days? Obviously, vested interest for you to, well, and me kind of, because I'm becoming a Birmingham fan after last season. So vested interest for all of us with our clubs going head to head this week.
Yeah, massive week for Drop the Clutch. Obviously, Birmingham versus Scunny on Wednesday, and then the return leg on Friday. Quick plug, the return leg on Friday is being streamed on Scorpions TV. You get my beautiful voice on in the background in your living room. So buy the stream, have a Chinese, have a pint. If you've got kids, then get them drinking pints as well, and all will be good in the world.
Don't listen to Dan's crap advice.
And also on Friday, Scunthorpe's #1 Ryan Douglas episode of Drop the Clutch will be dropping 8:30.
Yes.
Go give
which technically will have already dropped by the time this goes out, because this goes out next Friday.
Go give the Dougie interview a listen as soon as you've watched the Scunthorpe versus Birmingham stream.
Definitely. Should we give the two teams a rundown for tomorrow's meeting, as we've both got vested interest?
I know the Scunny team off the top of my head at the minute, so I'll go through that now. We've got.
I know the Birmingham one as well.
We'll go in reverse order because it's fun. At number 7, we've got Joe Thompson, absolute living born legend. At number 6, we've got guest reserve Jason Edwards,
who I believe is in on Friday as well, isn't he?
Yeah, he's been booked in for both meetings because Red Car out riding this week. At number 5, we've got my mate Tofty. Big up, Michael. We will. Jay Callan rides at number 4. He'll be coming round the mountain when he comes. Connor Mountain rides at number 3. Big Sexy Si, hashtag friend of the show, Big Sexy Si rides at number 2. And at number 1, another friend of the show, Ryan Douglas, rides at 1.
Now, I'm just going to go the complete right way round.
So watch
when I do the Brum Riders now.
Watch Heat 1 be a 5-1 to friends of the show.
You can't go the right way around, Ruth. James Wright's not there. He's injured.
Very funny. So at 1 for Birmingham, it's Nick Morris. 2, Alfie Botel. 3, the guest in for James Wright, Mr. Paco Castagna. Fan favourite Paco Castagna. At 4, we've got Stefan Nilsson. 5, Justin Sedgman. 6, Ty Proctor. And at 7, James Pearson.
You know, right? At the Scunny Red Car meeting, albeit he was on big, sexy sized bikes, I was very impressed with Ty Proctor.
There's a bit of pressure.
Watch him go and win Heat 2.
There's a bit of pressure on Proctor to perform at Scunny now because he's already been there this season.
I am half expecting Ty Proctor to win Heat 2 tomorrow.
And James Pearson to follow him for a 5-1.
Nah, Pearson's shite. He couldn't master Edinburgh, so he won't master Birmingham.
There's a little bit of a difference in the tracks, though, to be fair.
There's a big difference in the tracks, let's face it.
What, you mean Edinburgh's actually nice and rideable?
I think James Pearson will have a better meeting at Scunthorpe than he'll have tomorrow night, though. I think riding Bellevue now and their practice on the big tracks, I think will help him at Scunny on Friday.
In fairness to James, he won his first ever race over here at Scunny last year.
He did.
Because me and Spence was on commentary. We didn't even know he was out there winning it. We was commenting what we thought was first, second, and third. Actually turned out to be second, third, and fourth. Because James Pearson was just there, fucking out in front, didn't know where he was. But
And this tells you all you need to know about
however,
Scorpions TV commentary team.
However, Spence was the lead commentator there, so it was his fault. And James Pearson had Andy Harrison as a mechanic betraying his own home team club.
And James Pearson's got the nicest looking bikes in British Speedway, that really hot pink. It's gorgeous.
Well, you know what it's...
Pink makes the gals wink. You know how it goes.
You know how it goes, Dill. Pink make the boys wink and all that.
Yeah.
To be fair, I don't think there's going to be much of a home track advantage tomorrow because the track at Birmingham got relayed again over the winter and it had more time to bed in this time. And
we have no home track advantage at Scunny.
And taking the weather and all the rain and the snow that we had over the winter. So time will tell if it works.
It did react a lot better last season than the one before. So if they've relayed it and it's had time to bed in properly this season, I think
we've also got the best track. We've also got the best track grading tractor in the championship.
Well, I'm not having that. You haven't got Rob Godfrey's motorway blade.
We've got a fuck off massive John Deere tractor that's worth £250,000.
So have we, but we nick them. Because we don't pay for shit in Scunny.
That doesn't surprise me.
Let's throw out our predictions for tomorrow night then. What do we reckon will happen? Top scorers and prediction of the final score for tomorrow and for Friday.
As Ruth is the hosting team tomorrow, we'll let Ruth go first for tomorrow's prediction.
Does that mean I've got to go second as the second?
Yeah. So we have the right prediction going last. You know how it goes.
I'm going to go slim. Birmingham win. I'm going to say 48-42.
Top scorer.
Ryan Douglas top scoring for Scunthorpe.
Top scorer for Bourne.
Easily. I don't know. Paco Castagna, because on paper, well, as we've seen, having Paco in a Birmingham team just makes them stronger because he really likes the Birmingham track.
Oh, right. This feels really dirty to say. I'm going to say Scunthorpe win by 9. I think the lack of track time for Birmingham will come back towards them. Or by 8. I think the lack of track time will come back toward Birmingham. I think Nick Morris at the moment, although it's an easier league, is against Ryan Douglas, who's started the season on like an house on fire. I think it's one of them. They'll just need to bed in a bit, I think. So it won't be time to panic, but I do think Scunny will win 49-41 with Ryan Douglas getting a 15-point maximum and Justin Sedgman top scoring for Birmingham with double figures.
Dylan, have I ever told you I love you? You see, my prediction's not. It's easier listening for Ruth as yours was. I'm gonna go for a Scunny win because obs, but I think it's gonna be 47-43. I think Sedgman top score for Birmingham because he's Justin Sedgman and he rides his bikes really, really good. And
you say lack of track time, Dylan, but Nick Morris has been on the bike, Sedgman's been on the bike, Alfie Botel's been on the bike, Ty Proctor's ridden. James
Yeah,
Pearson's
but-
ridden.
Lack of home track time, especially
Ah.
after the track's been relayed and Steph's been off the bikes for 10 minutes.
You also seem to have forgotten the fact that Ty Proctor is riding Simon Lambert's equipment.
He's not. He's got his own bikes now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
He had his
Jesus.
own bikes last week.
he was
At
on
Preston
site.
practice a couple of weeks back, he had his own bikes.
They're Kyle Bickley's bikes.
Yeah,
They're
I heard
genuinely
that.
Bickley's
I heard
bikes.
that as well.
Like when he was doing like the Teesside Silver Helmet and that at Redcar at the end of last year, it was all on Kyle Bickley's equipment.
Well, they had his own covers on, so I don't know.
And obviously, because Kyle was riding on Friday when Redcar was at Scunny, he had to borrow like Simon's bikes because Kyle Bickley and Proctor they have the same colours, like plainly black. So, but I think if Ty Proctor's got his own equipment, it'll be a massive influence tomorrow. If he's using borrowed machinery, and it puts a big question mark on him. But I'm going to go different to you guys actually. Michael Palmtoft's going to top score for Scunny.
Okay.
And then on Friday, we're just going to batter you 60-30, so tomorrow doesn't even matter anyway.
Yeah, we'll quickly
Okay.
touch on Friday's meeting now, where Dan can go first, and then the right predictions will go second and third.
Yeah, you know how it is. Yeah. Look, Ruth, I love you, but not enough to date you. But I do. I can only see a massive home win here. Yeah, like try to be realistic without trying to be biased too much. Right, Pearson won one race at Scunny last year, then was shite. Proctor, if he's on the right equipment, he'll be all right. Sedgy rode really well, I thought, for Redcar. Stefan should know the place, but he's ginger, so he'll probably have forgotten.
He did last season.
Yeah, exactly. You see, he was actually mine and Spencer's rider to watch for Birmingham last year, and he disappointed us because he's ginger. All depends who you've got at number 3. If you've got righty, great. If you haven't got righty, I might cry so I can't go shouting our James on comms, but it is what it is. Alfie Botel fucking hates Scunny, and Nick Morris is going to go there, turn up, take his 2-3 grand, and then go home. So I think Sedgy will top score for you guys. Dougie will probably top score for us at home, and it'll be around the 58, 59, 60 mark to Scunny.
I'm going to say, I'm actually going to kind of agree. I'm going to go 55-35 the result. I think I'm going to go different. I actually think Alfie Botel will top score for Birmingham. I think he'll be the rider to watch. For Scunny, I'm going to say Dougie again because Eddie Wright Raceway is his place.
Douglas Drive, don't forget.
Especially if he gets Gate 4 in Heat 1, because Gate 4 is a big advantage in the early stages. That's one thing I've learned about Scunny. So, yeah. I think it'll be a massive home win to Scunny. But then I don't think Birmingham need to worry too much at the moment. They're just getting race sharp again after starting their season considerably later than the majority of the other teams.
I've got to agree, to be honest. I generally don't see anybody turning up, at least not very well, because, yeah, like you both said, the season's just started so late for Birmingham, and the fact that they've had no competitive track time because the challenge fixture got rained off last week. I can't really see anything else, to be honest.
Just a quick prediction, more for our old pal Fan Power. Nobody is going to die.
Plymouth have turned it round against Oxford, 31-29 after 10.
Go tell Rob Peasley in the group chat.
Oh, Ben Barker's still not won a race though. But yeah, I ain't really got a lot else to add to that.
No, me neither.
Dan's got to go and get back home, ready to start sexting his bird.
Don't know what you're on about, look. We've already been doing it all day. I'm just coming up for a wee.
He's got to show her his tallywhacker.
Right. Okay. Thanks everybody for tuning in to Drop the Clutch. And this is a message to all the Wolves fans. Keep going. The fight's only just starting. Keep the faith. Keep your head up. It's not over until it's over. That's goodbye from me.
Yeah, I echo Ruth's statement. Keep going to Wolves. It ain't over till it's over. And for me, cheers for tuning in, looking at my pretty face. Fuck knows why. Thanks for tuning in. I'll probably come back next week if I'm not sacked.
Yeah, it's one of those games. Got to keep everyone at one more, keep supporting the team, and see what happens.
Keep your head up, Wolves fans. We're all with you. See you next week.